Hey, I don't like that. I don't like that six-pack carrying case.
I hate
do
it.
not like that.
Why? Because they fall out?
That's a bad improvement.
Because
We've talked about that with
It's going to suck balls, isn't it?
Felicia Day and how they suck.
I'd rather kill sea life than be inconvenienced
Dude.
opening a beer.
I had a super bad environmental week because I read some horrible environmental headlines. The first is that the population of tuna is now considered to be 97%
Is that a country?
I thought you were talking about a country.
population of tuna. Talking about the population of Tuna, Texas.
Tuna.
It's now two dudes.
It's the ocean area right around Turkey.
The overall let me change the way I worded that. The overall tuna population
There you go.
of the world is now 97% below what it was before humans started fishing them.
How do
Like-
they know?
Well, I'm assuming those are estimates. They didn't do a census of all the fish in the ocean before humans started fishing, but they're just estimating from levels that they started at and how much we fished them, and we're fishing at triple the amount that we need, that we're now at down to 2.7% of the total population of tuna.
blame-
It's right on the razor's edge of just buy
Couldn't
tuna.
put them extinct though, probably.
What's that?
You couldn't make them extinct.
I bet
It
you
does seem
could.
like it'd be hard to make
Because there'd always be two.
unless we raise the temperature of the ocean and just kill them all
Oh, God.
because of tunas. Is that what you're saying?
No.
What does that mean? Because there'd always be two?
Two tunas?
Yeah. Let's just shag and make more.
Then if that's the case, then why have other animals gone extinct?
Well, I feel like you can never get them all because they're fish.
I agree
Like
with that.
two
If they're
two
in the
in
ocean,
height.
you're not
Yeah,
getting them.
But
all.
if there's two in the ocean and they're thousands of miles apart, they're not going to find each other.
Well, I mean, they'd always be too close together. How would you get every single fish out apart from one?
There's sea life that's gone endangered or extinct, right?
That's
Like
the way it
whales?
happens. It's like abundance, endangered. Everyone chills out and they come back. And then sometimes they come back too strong and become a pest, like the red kites.
Do you say... Never mind.
I don't want to make fun of you because you're always so frequently right. But it seems so absurd to me that something would go from endangered, but then there's two of them left, and then they're a pest.
Look, there was a bird of prey. It's called the red kite. There were loads of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were hunted to the brink of extinction. There were only 2 pairs left, I think, in the whole of the country or the world or whatever. And now they're like scavengers, and there's too many. And we're trying to take them out again.
Now they're all fucked up in the brain, though, because they just
They eat bacon.
inbred, right?
Well, see, that's the thing, is that siblings can actually breed. They just probably shouldn't because there's less genetic variance. And so, some diseases can take advantage of that. Like there's something that family would not be immune to. It would destroy all
Yeah.
those things, right? Like hemophilia with the Russian czars. They always had a bunch of inbreeding. But it's like, people always say if you have a baby with your cousin or your sister, it's got 3 eyes and stuff. It's not at all the case.
But it could turn into Joffrey.
It could turn into Joffrey. There you go. Nice reference. Hey, did you watch the first episode of Game of Thrones, season 6?
You know I did.
You
Of
did?
course I did. Yeah.
So
Where?
did you land the plane and you rush and go do it?
I came back Saturday night.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you really?
That's
so
what I said.
I could have asked you to participate in our
He wouldn't.
binaural podcast.
He wouldn't have.
It's a podcast
I
movie.
like the new strategy though of he comes in a day earlier to take the day off after travel because
Yep.
Gus needs those buffer zones.
I do. I've earned it. I worked hard. Did you read my journal?
I should go read your journal. But did you guys hear about the passenger pigeon going extinct? I'll get back to that in a second. Let me finish my environmental horror story for this week.
Yeah.
First, I read about the tuna, that there's 97% less tuna than there used to be. Now we're down to 2.7%. The other thing I read, which was a horrifying bit of environmental news, was that... Oh, my thing just died on me. Oh, I want to talk about the cholera outbreak, too. That's so crazy. The Great Barrier Reef, half of it is now dead or dying.
Oh, I saw
And
that.
the Great Barrier Reef is just going to be dead pretty soon. Just gone.
They can't save it?
Nah, they're trying, but they can't do anything.
What's doing it in?
I didn't get to read the whole article, but if I had to guess, I would guess the change in the either small variances in the temperature of the ocean or just a change in the alkalinity of the water.
How do you go about saving something like that?
Let me see. I'll read it here.
You
and
build
I'll
a
tell you what
big
it is.
tank over it.
You fucking
I don't know.
kill a lot of humans. That's what you do. Which is basically what's going to happen. It's the Earth is going to go, wow, these fucking humans are really kind of screwing shit up. So it's the Earth will be fine. We just talk about saving the Earth. Earth's fine.
We're going to save ourselves.
Right. The Earth, what it does is it'll heat up and it'll just make it inhospitable for us, and then we'll all die. And then
It's like when you set the oven to clean, it just kind of boils off the layer of stink that's come off.
I was
And all the
thinking-
grime on the
then
inside
just
of the
scrape it
oven is
off.
like, save the oven. It's like, well, fine.
The oven's fine.
I was thinking of like when you're sick and you get a fever.
Yeah.
Your body gets really hot to kill everything else, and then then
it
it all dies, or enough of it dies. and
You
then
shake
you're
it
fine.
off.
Yep.
Climate change is leading the reef to undergo a significant event that threatens its existence, according to Australian ministers. Only 7% of the reef has escaped bleaching, which happens when the water warms and leads the coral to expel the algae that lives inside of it. So it's a temperature change.
So it's
that's doing
like
it.
all of its food busts out.
Yeah, or the living parts of it. Like, is the coral like the home to?
I have no idea.
Well, I know coral is a living organism, but I don't know. Like, does it eat algae? Maybe that's what it is.
It'd be cool if it was sentient.
What means it's living? That it's just got cells that aren't rock.
So let me. Okay.
That's the definition in my biology textbook in high school. The definition of living is it has cells that aren't rock.
When it dies,
My
it's just
laptop is
rock.
living.
And the third piece of environmental news before we quiz Gavin on what the criteria for life are, it sounds like a good thing at first, but then it's actually a really horrible thing, which is the energy minister in India announced this week that solar energy is now cheaper than coal. And that India is in the process of meeting their goal of doing, I think, 100 gigawatts of power
That's
via solar
bad.
for the country. That's bad.
Because that means that coal is going out. Like there's so few.
No,
less-
it means that if energy is less of a barrier, it's like it's just more humans that can have everything that they want, and they just need more food and everything else. Like
Bad for overpopulation.
there's a weird thing to solving the energy
Oh.
crisis is that it's one less barrier to humans living longer, which on a short-term basis, great thing. But when we're eating all the fish and the fucking coral reef is dying,
There's only 3% tuna left.
yeah, it's like you can see how like a life on Earth being easy on an energy level is like that actually can contribute to like a lot of other horrible things.
I was thinking it's because coal was becoming less available, and that's why, because it was getting more expensive.
Oh,
and
you're
that's
saying
why.
so the thing that drove it cheaper than coal was the fact that
Coal is
coal is
becoming
getting more
less
expensive?
available,
That's
yeah.
probably the case too.
I have a question for you.
Very
Well,
Why
that's
don't,
coal's good thing though.
why don't you want Indians to live longer?
I want everyone to live longer, except for everybody. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to put that. It's like I hope everybody individually lives longer, but
Then what?
I just hope there's less people. That's what it is. I hope we get to the point where, like in
Sound like
Japan and the
Hitler.
U.S., where the population birth rates decline to be less than the sustainability rate.
I think I've read studies that try to map out global population growth, and that most models show, the population never being sustainable above, I want to say like 8 or 9 billion. Like we're close to the maximum sustainable number, and that it will never really
But what's
get
the
above that.
limiting? What caps that at 9 million?
It's just
9
when
billion?
birth rates fall, like Bernie's talking about. Like countries will
Yeah, but what if everyone just keeps shagging? Like, what's stopping it?
math.
laws.
Math.
Yeah.
We run out of carbon. That's it. This is a closed system, right? We're not getting elements from. I mean, occasionally a meteor drops in and adds like a little splish splash of something here, but we only have so much carbon on this planet.
It's only so much stuff.
There's only so much stuff.
Yeah, but it's recyclable.
But
It is. It
breathe
is.
it.
all we got to do is look through a telescope and find a carbon planet, and then we grab it, and then we bring it over here.
When do you think shit is going to like legitimately hit the fan? Like we're just totally fucked. No coming back.
I don't know. I can't say. We went through kind of a minor event here in Texas where we went through 5 years where it was a terrible drought. Our lakes are draining. And I was like, oh, the lakes are never going to come back. They're never going to fill up. And then they're now at Lake Travis is at 105%. I think it was at 38% at its lowest.
Right.
And now it's at 105%. So apparently there were 2 lakes left, Gavin, and they fucked. And they made some new lake.
So you
That's
see,
the way
it's not
that
a
works.
closed system. You can add more.
Yeah.
Add more water.
So it's like it is one of those things, and I remember when we were going through that pretty serious drought, and California is going through one of those right now. They're having huge problems. When we were going through that, I was like, yeah, this is clearly climate change. This is a permanent thing. And I had a buddy who's a lifelong Texan, and he sent me this quote that just basically said, "Texas is a land of perpetual drought interrupted by the occasional flood." And that quote was made like back in the early part of the 1900s. And so it was like,
So nothing's really changed.
it's been like that. You just need some perspective for a long period of time to see those things. Although it's hard to dismiss the fact that we're having the hottest years on record every single year at this point.
I will say, however, to counter, I mean, I agree with
Globally,
that,
the hottest
with
years.
the old statement about Texas, but I think the counter argument or the counterpoint to think about is back then in the early 1900s, they didn't have the dammed lake system that we have now in Central Texas in order to try to preserve and maintain that water.
Mm-hmm.
So now, even with that system trying to preserve as much water as we can, we weren't able to.
An
You ever
actual
seen
dam.
You ever seen photos of like Congress flooded, like up to the Capitol? It's just like basically water. In the
No,
lake.
no, really?
Oh yeah, there's like fuck tons of photos of just, I mean, flooding in Austin. It's like Colorado River, I guess, or Lady Bird Lake, what do you want to call it?
Oh, the Texas Capitol.
I thought you meant Washington, D.C.
I think,
also.
didn't he say Congress?
Congress Avenue.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, that I was on DC for
was
some
thinking
time.
Yeah,
DC
sorry
also.
about that. I should have been more.
Yeah,
clear.
Austin is, by the way, smack in the middle of Texas. There's no like coastal region anywhere nearby us. But that storm that came right by us, we were on the western edge of it, and Houston was on the eastern edge. They got fucking hammered by that thing.
Like last weekend?
Yeah, Houston is basically a city at sea level. I mean, it is. They built that city on a swamp.
People in Houston are so industrious, right? Like, Houston is not a coastal city, and they want it to be a coastal city, so they built the fucking Houston Ship Channel.
Yeah.
It's like, we want to be able to get big ships here, but there's no way to do it. Let's dig a giant 40-mile trench to the ocean so that giant ships can come into the city.
All the way to Galveston. And
Was
we
it
have, Houston has a
financially worth
port.
it?
I'm sure it has been, yeah. Now they got like huge oil industry, and
Why is it that the moon doesn't affect a lake?
it probably does.
There's no tide though.
Oh,
It's not big enough,
You
yeah.
just need a lot of it.
I guess.
I watched a moonrise this week. Have you ever seen one?
Have you ever seen the moonrise? I mean, is that a crazy thing to see?
I think so,
like
because
it's-
you never get to really see the moon because it's already risen when
Where
the
did
sun's
you see a
still out.
moonrise?
On the horizon. What do you mean? I mean, where was
Oh
I?
my
Where were
God.
you?
Oh my god! No, that has to be intentional.
I was like, he was talking about it being up in the sky. What do you mean? Yeah, in San Francisco I saw one. That was the question.
Hey, did you see the giant wizard tower in San Francisco? One that just looks like a wizard hat.
No.
That's pretty funny.
How was your trip to San Francisco? You took a cheeky little vacation.
It was lovely.
Lovely tourney.
Went on the Golden Gate Bridge and all that. Did all that.
I loved your
Went on some
photo of
hills.
the Golden Gate
Yeah.
Bridge.
He walked across. You walked across that thing.
We ran across it.
What does that mean? You ran. You
That
ran
means
jogging?
I used my legs slightly faster than walking.
Yeah, but why would you run? Were you doing it for
Like
exercise, or were
recreation?
you just like?
Yeah, we just thought, let's run it.
Trying to get the fuck out of there.
Someone chasing you? Did you go to Alcatraz?
Yeah. Did a little periscope from Alcatraz Island.
Did you go to the Full House area? You know,
What's that?
it's like the Full House, like where it's like all the nice little.
He may have never seen that TV show.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
No, I
What's
haven't.
in
Yeah.
Britain?
Sorry.
Plus, it's a shitty show. I
So you've-
never,
Not very
I
good.
never got excited. Are you excited about Full House?
It was always dumb. It was always, to me, in my mind, even as a kid, it was like the worst night of television. Remember they branded it as like TGIF?
Yeah.
And it was all like all of those
What was the-
stupid, awful shows.
What was the show that had the animatronic cat? That was just the worst
Talking about
technology.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Was that it? You had a black like animatronic cat.
Salem the cat was awesome.
Fucking awful. Like that thing was terrible.
I
was
bought
bad.
it. I mean, I didn't buy it. It was
Bought
a fake cat. but-
Animatronic.
No, I didn't purchase the cat.
Oh,
Wait. Oh, you bought? Okay.
he believed it.
Yeah.
No, God, we can't understand each other for
We're lost.
shit today.
Congress.
Let me
What?
let me read this.
No. What if we say no to that?
No, you can't.
Okay.
Do elephants have nipples?
I would assume so. They're mammals.
Mammals.
So a baby elephant can actually chew on a nipple without its, like, or does it use its trunk?
I assume it doesn't use its trunk.
Trunks the nose.
Yeah, but you know sometimes they suck up water from a pond or something.
Oh, and then
put it
they-
in their mouth.
And then
I've never seen a breastfeeding elephant.
looking this
I'm
up.
just wondering how it works.
I got it right here for you.
So Simmons went on record as saying he is not being held against his will.
Oh, he actually said it outright.
He called the Today Show and he said, "I just sort of wanted to be a little bit of a loner for a little while."
Look at that image.
I can
What?
relate to that.
What is that? Is that a nipple?
It's an elephant nipple.
That's
tasty.
sizable. That's awesome.
That looks like my scrotum.
Do you have bumps on your scrotum like that, Blaine?
You know,
I'm not worried about what your scrotum
Skin
looks like.
folds?
I'm wondering what the bottom of like your legs look like, if that's the case. Because that's like, look at that skin and everything. That looks like an enemy you'd fight in Dark Souls.
or it looks like
That's horrifying.
they call it an emergence hall.
It
from
looks like
Gears of
this
War.
week's episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh, that was a bad time.
You guys are ageist.
So
That's fine.
so Richard Simmons is good. Did he say that with a gun to his head? Was this like a live
no,
public event?
called in.
Did it have the gun
Called
emoji?
in?
Yeah.
I call bullshit.
Just wanted to be alone for a little. Sorry, we go for the quote. I just sort of wanted to be a little bit of a loner for a little while. Simmons said, "You know, I had hurt my knee. I lost my thing. I had hurt my knee, and I had some problems with it. And then the other knee started giving me trouble because I've taught like thousands and thousands of classes, And right now I just want to sort of take care of me. And he called the allegations about his housekeeper ridiculous, said they've been together for 30 years. They're like a married couple. So he went on record as saying, BS, fuck off Daily News. So, and that was in March. Both of those things happened. I just, it just goes to show. You always read the story. You never read the retraction of the follow-up. You know what I mean?
True.
It's you don't realize like that big story that goes viral, there might be a total correction that comes the next day. Nobody fucking hears that. Always the case. I didn't hear that Richard Simmons had made a statement. But I'm glad I brought it up because now I don't have to worry about Richard Simmons anymore.
Did you ever watch that? And I'm not trying to get into this whole thing, but the Loose Change documentary on 9/11?
Yeah.
So
that is not Alex Jones, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So there was a bit where apparently a guy was able to get signal on the plane and then call his mom. And then they went into this whole investigation about how there was like this government thing where they were researching like voice mimicking technology. And when he called his mom, he was like, hey, this is Blaine Gibson. Like he said his full name, and they like went into all this whole thing, and they were listening to the conversation. It was like really weird.
Well, I mean, you'd probably
Where
sound
did
weird.
that story go?
Where did that come from?
Well,
What is-
because like I bet Richard Simmons, might have been voice.
Government was
No, I don't know. I thought it was related.
I'm so sorry,
Fuck.
audience. I thought Blaine would be good. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on here.
Maybe he had a gun to his head.
But wouldn't you sound different if you were on a plane that was hijacked?
I don't think I would say I'm Blaine Gibson, mom. Yeah.
Let me sum up Blaine's story in just one sentence. Richard Simmons' cell phone 9/11. That's it. That was the whole fucking story.
Wake up, sheeple! Wake up!
Who would have
I
thought?
can't hear, it's too
Who
loud.
would have thought that Richard Simmons, such a nice man, caused 9/11 with his cell phone call to his mother? I would
Allegedly.
never imagine that.
So you were talking about the New York Daily News, right?
Kind
And,
of. I was talking about Richard Simmons.
And I saw a video earlier today on YouTube that was posted by the New York Post back in 2011. And it was a video titled Urban Gold Miner. And it's about this dude who walks around the Diamond District in New York, and he just like digs up the mud and
Oh, yeah.
the stuff that gets stuck between sidewalks.
Yeah, like
and
sidewalk
on
cracks.
grates and cracks. And he just digs it up, and he finds gems, diamonds, gold. And so he like collects all of this mud. Then he takes it back to his apartment and he pans it like a prospector.
Like a prospector. He's an urban prospector.
He pans it and then like sifts all of the gold out of it. And then it's like, oh look, here's all the gold I found this week. Here's this a diamond I found. And
So he's making buns of this? Like
yeah,
good
he said he made like a couple $1,000 a month.
My dad is a football coach, and we used to go to the school in Rockwall, Texas, and they had this giant gymnasium, and they had like one of these big pits full of these like foam cubes that the gymnasts could practice on, and they can fall in and wouldn't hurt them or anything like that. So when I was a kid up there, I dug to the bottom of the cube, and this thing was like probably like 10 feet deep. Got all the way to the bottom, and there was like watches, rings, money, like all sorts of shit at the bottom of it. So,
Oh, so you just got to dive to the bottom?
yeah.
Children.
Dead kids.
Yeah, I guess like a ball pit would be similar.
Yeah.
No, you find a lot of urine down there. I bet.
Urine.
Oh, God.
Come.
In a ball pit?
Gavin, really? Who's coming in a
Look.
ball pit?
I mean, someone's done it.
In a ball pit?
Maybe.
That's not sexual at all. That does not arouse me.
Maybe
No.
not for you.
Maybe
What was
Gavin.
that? What's that convention?
DashCon.
Oh, what's it called? DashCon.
DashCon.
We going?
Yeah, let's go.
I don't think they had it
Blaine and I
again.
still
They
want to go
didn't
to
have it
DashCon.
Yeah, you were supposed to do the-
Nobody's had it since. By the way, did you see your favorite award show, which is sitting right next to you on the table there? The Podcast Awards now has a GoFundMe account.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
Oh,
That's a little rough.
we should probably just put these away.
What are you talking about? They're going to be collector's items soon.
I think they're trying to raise $25,000.
I think that is correct.
And they've raised in 30 days. They've raised $1,200.
Yeah, but what's in it for anyone else?
Well, just charge an entry fee for the goddamn podcast.
they do now.
They do? Okay, there you go.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's rough.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Is the podcast dying as a format?
No, I just think that, we're very happy with our awards. Let's just say that. Very happy with our awards. But so go help the Podcast Awards and donate, $1 or $2 and help them out.
So we
'Cause
can win
That'll
again.
apparently move the needle.
So in every city, do you think there's one of these gold digger curb guys?
Well, I think it might be a special case scenario in like for this instance, because he says he specifically targets the Diamond District because that's like people are are more likely to have loose stones that they're going to take somewhere to sell, or they're carrying loose stones out of a place and they're willing to drop, or they might drop it. Or if there's like a jeweler who's working all day on jewelry, maybe he has gold dust on him or on the bottom of his shoes and it gets stuck outside.
This guy's got to look fucking crazy. Like digging up on the
It looks
streets.
gross. Like you think about
Yeah.
being on the sidewalk in New York, and he's got like a little, tool that he uses to like scrape out all of the mud
so
and putting it into a
impacted.
cup and just like carrying around like your mud cup.
I'd like to imagine that the guy dresses like an old-timey prospector. He's got a pitchfork and everything. And he's like, all right, you know.
Prospectors carry pitchforks.
I mean, are you even legally allowed to do
Don't
that?
they? Yeah, they do.
What is the prospector doing with the pitchfork?
What is a pitchfork, Blaine?
Is he baling hay out there? What's he doing with the pitchfork?
Oh, fuck. The
A pickaxe.
pickaxe. I got the first
I
two
gotcha.
letters right.
I gotcha. I would have let it go. Gus wanted to talk about it. I thought
I just
I
pictured
was with
a
you.
prospector with his hat going yeehaw and then having like a pitchfork. I was like, it doesn't make sense.
It's fucking the worst 49er in the world. He's up there with a fucking pitchfork.
Bill, we keep telling you, not the pitchfork.
Who's this dude that just
The
digs
pickaxe.
4 small holes all the time? Who is this fucker? So I need something to work on, Gus. I need a set of guidelines.
What do you do when you start choking on food? I choke on food
die?
probably once or twice a month.
Do you find you choke on the same foods? Like if I say what's a food you eat that you will always choke on? Is there a food?
It's normally like bready type food, probably like a hamburger.
What do you mean bready? Just bread.
Like there's bread on
Okay, gotcha.
the food.
Food with bread in it.
Sandwiches,
bread like food.
sandwiches.
It's in the bread milieu of food.
What do you do though?
When
Mine
I'm,
is seaweed.
When I'm eating with a
Seaweed wrapped
pitchfork,
sushi, I will choke on that every time I fucking eat it. Every time those rolls with the seaweed, right? It's like half of it goes down my throat and the other half is like holding on for dear life
What do
up
you-
by the tongue.
What do you do?
I go like that. And so that's what I first I have the horrible feeling of panic.
Yeah.
And then I like kind of hork it back up, but I'm in a sushi place, so it's nice. So it's like, yeah, exactly. Like a seagull.
Whenever that happens, I've lost that fear. I used to get that all the time where I'd be like, like freaking out. And now I'm just like, and I look for the closest drink. And sometimes I have to run into my kitchen and I drink it down and then it goes down like immediately. It's really weird.
So you get bread stuck in your throat.
Yes, I think I'm going to die someday from choking on food. I think that's the way that I'll go.
maybe you're getting immune to it. I think it was last week, there was a video that came out of China where these rival construction companies started fighting in the street and they had 6 bulldozers all attacking each other like demolition derby style.
That's fucking dope.
You didn't see that?
No.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of a street. It's like one construction company shows up and another one's doing the work, so they get mad, and then it's just like a demolition derby.
Where's this?
In China.
Were they
of
shooting
China?
it? Was it a commercial?
No.
Do they
it's-
have like sledgehammers and jackhammers and shit?
No, it was just the heavy equipment going at it.
That's like, it's like Transformers.
You need David Attenborough narrating this.
Somewhere in northern China.
Holy shit. Oh.
But yeah,
Flip it.
Oh, do it. Oh, what's it cut off for?
I think they're trying to get to the good part. But yeah, he
That was
flips it.
the part.
Dude, I
These
love
cars-
that people are still driving down the road.
You gotta
The
get where you're
strongest
going.
bulldozer will get the female.
Gavin, your voice is perfect for that. Please keep going.
But can you?
I'll feed you lines, Gavin. Say, it's mating season for the front loading.
This one needs an oil change.
In fact, so one of them does get flipped over, and you see like the dude get out of it and like run down the street, and he goes and like starts pounding on the door of another one to like get in. I guess it's like his friend in the other one.
One-on-one.
It seems like a viral video for Titanfall 2.
It's Titanfall 0.5.
The pilot gets out and somehow still
Ejects.
manages to beat the front end loader that somebody else is driving. That's something I could never stand about that
Oh,
game. Is
no.
in a way I could never
That could've
stand
been
the
murder.
balance in Titanfall
it's
that
cool.
the pilots would be as good as the Titans in some scenarios.
There's like 4 of them now. There's 5. I see one in the
I
back.
told you there were 6. Here comes the other one.
That's so cool.
He's like trying to save his friend.
Oh,
buddy,
he's saving
yeah,
him.
buddy.
I got you, bud.
Oh, he's lifting him up.
Dropped it.
Oh, look, he is a pilot. He's getting in there. He's going to take him out of the
Hijacked.
cockpit.
No, that was his friend. I think.
Oh, okay.
So
You don't know.
that's-
You don't know how that ended.
That is awesome. I bet they've always wanted to do that. I bet they weren't even
I've
that
always
mad at
wanted to
each other.
do that. I've never driven one of those in my
Can you
life.
imagine how much it would hurt though? Like swinging your thing around, like you'd be like, ah.
we used to talk about this back at the call center about how and we've never done this. We said one day we wanted to rent bobcats
Yes.
and have bobcat wars.
I also wanted to own a tow truck and tow trucks. People to this day send me photos of tow trucks towing tow trucks. Going, Burnie, somebody's living the dream. Once I get a tow truck and night vision goggles, I'm done. You know I'm done. I've reached all my life goals at
If
that point.
6 tow trucks are towing each other, which one's in front?
The one that's in
The
front.
one in front. That's a stupid question.
What a dumb question. Gus, if 1,000
Do you know
people,
how a tow truck
Gus,
works?
if 1,000 people are in line, who's in the front of the line?
The front
3.
one's being towed by the back one.
If they're towing in a circle? You didn't say that. You left that fucking part out,
So
didn't
they were
you?
towing each other.
What? If 6 tow trucks are towing each other, why would we assume a circle? God, you're fucking
What
lunatic.
would it be, a triangle? How else would they tow each
You
other?
just need to understand nobody's brain works the way you're a very smart person, but nobody's brain works the way yours works. We're not going to make the conclusion on our own that the tow trucks are in a fucking circle.
We did it at GTA 5. That might be why.
Oh, I see.
And then the other bit of weird news I saw, a bit of news about Austin made the front page of Reddit a couple days ago. I don't know if you saw this, but I guess there's Robert E. Lee Elementary in Austin.
Yeah. I saw this.
There's a movement that people want to rename it. So I guess there was a call to the public to suggest new
poll.
names for the school.
Yeah.
And some of the top vote getters were Donald J. Trump Elementary, the Adolf Hitler School for Friendship and Tolerance,
Can't have nice things.
Drew Brees Elementary, Bruce Lee Elementary, John Cena Elementary School, and Schoolie McSchoolface.
Oh, it was on there?
It was on there.
I was just making a joke.
It's like, what do you expect? What do you expect from people?
Oh, God. Yeah, they didn't let Boaty McBoatface go through.
Yeah.
I was pretty sad about that.
I feel like now you're going to see that everywhere now. Everybody's going to want to have
something face.
Yep. Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
it was an
with
airline.
Aer Lingus?
Yeah.
Aer Lingus?
I want to have a kid named
Sounds
Kid
like a-
McKidface.
Sex act you do to plane.
That's the name of the national airline of Ireland, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the American Airlines.
Not very well traveled.
Sounds
are
like
you, Blaine?
cunnilingus in the air.
Cunnilingus.
Cunnilingus.
What's
A word,
cunnilingus? Is that when you breathe on someone's
so foreign to
vagina?
Blaine, he doesn't know the word.
What's the word?
Cunnilingus.
There you
What
go.
did he say?
Cunnilingus.
What's the
Cunnilingus.
Yavin!
He's licking an Angus
what's
cow.
the knob version?
Huh?
What's the knob version?
What do you mean? Oh, we're blowjob. I don't know.
What, can I tell you one of my favorite moments of The Amazing Race was when we had to put on those gold, tiny little bikinis, and Dana of the dancers team, her top was just like didn't fit, and I don't know why she asked Corey of Tyler and Corey to help her adjust her top. And Corey got back there. He's like, I don't know. I've never touched one of these in my life. And he adjusted it so that she completely fell out of her top.
Oh, God.
Because he had never dealt with a bra before in any way. It was such a funny moment, but not something that you can show on TV. She's holding it going, what are you doing back there?
They definitely showed her uncomfortable with the top, but yeah, they didn't show that particular
No,
moment.
I got to say in that regard, it is a very family-friendly show, so I never had any concerns. I might have had a wardrobe malfunction during that process when we came running out of there.
Did you?
I maybe a little bit.
Did your testy come out?
No, it's just a little
Nope.
bit of flash though. Some stuff came
You scrote?
stuff was in places where stuff shouldn't be. Yeah. So
Who was that girl that got banned from Twitch for revealing her vagina?
I don't know.
I haven't heard that story.
The one who was talking about cancer kids recently?
She did what? Is she back with something new?
Yeah,
now?
I think her vagina fell out. And then they banned her from Twitch.
All right, I'm gonna look this up.
For research.
What girl?
Have you ever
vagina
had your
fell
junk fall
on
out,
Twitch?
Gavin?
No.
Blaine, have you ever had your
If I'm
junk fall
sat
out?
there,
Yeah.
You have? What
Yeah.
happened?
I was going to work out, and I have these really small.
I got the right link just by typing that in. It's called a vag slip. All right, go ahead.
I actually had when I went to
so
the
a pink
academy,
slip.
I like shorts that are shorter because they're showing off my thighs and stuff. And basketball shorts are too long, so I get women's Sophie shirts in large because they look just like dude shorts, but they're just shorter. Well, anyways, one time I wasn't wearing sliders; I was wearing boxers.
You weren't wearing sliders? What does that mean?
Sliders are athletic shorts.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was just sitting there. It felt kind of cool. I looked down, there's a nard hanging out, and I was
Oh,
like,
my God.
oh, fuck. So, yeah, I slipped ball once.